I dropped 3.2 seconds per lap using just my iPhone and a €30 OBD2 dongle. Here's exactly how I logged telemetry with TrackAddict. No pricey race dash, no wiring, just a simple setup you can copy today. Let's start on track with the problem I ran into. I've been doing track days for X years and I felt fast, but my lap times weren't improving, especially at turn 7. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what. Was I braking too early, not carrying enough speed? I had no idea. I needed data, but professional data loggers cost 300, 500 euros and require installation. There had to be a better way. So I looked for something lightweight, reliable, and cheap that still gave me the truth. Here's what I discovered. I found this setup that uses what I already have, my phone. Here's how it works. This OBD2 scanner plugs into your car and streams live data. RPM, throttle position, gear, G-forces. The quad lock mount holds your phone steady. And this vibration dampener is crucial because vibrations mess up the accelerometer data. Then TrackAddict app ties it all together with overlays and custom dashboards. Total cost under 100 euros. I'm not saying you should buy this. I'm showing what it does and how I used it to find time. Now, let's install it. Installation took 10 minutes. The OBD2 port is usually under the steering wheel. Mine was right here. Plug in the scanner is me, quiet, mount your phone, quiet, open TrackAddict site, and pair via Bluetooth. Pro tip, if the scanner won't pair, turn your car's ignition to accessory mode first. That caught me out. Here's how I set up my dashboard. I focused on throttle position, G-forces, and gear indicator because those tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. Once you see these moving cleanly, you're ready to record. Hit record before you roll out so the GPS locks and the app logs the full lap. Let's see what it shows on track. Here's turn 7 on my first session. No data yet. Felt fast, right? Now look at this data from the same corner. See that throttle position graph? I thought I was at full throttle by the apex, but the data shows I was only at 85%. I was being cautious without realizing it. Like, second issue, look at this G-force data at turn 3. Like, I was braking at what I thought was the 100-meter board, but the spike in deceleration shows I was actually starting at 120 meters. That's 20 meters of lost time. Moving that marker up made a huge difference in my minimum speed. Third discovery, my gear changes. I was shifting to 4th gear in turn 5, but the RPM data showed I was hitting the limiter in 3rd. I could carry 3rd gear all the way through. Holding 3rd kept the car balanced and saved a shift. After making these 3 changes based on the data, watch this lap. Full throttle by the apex at turn 7. Braking point moved up 20 meters at turn 3. Staying in 3rd at turn 5. Yeah, the result, I dropped from 145.3 to 142.1. That's 3.2 seconds faster. And it's consistent, bro, not just a one-lap wonder. And the overlay also showed a cleaner line through mid-corner that carried 3 km/h more onto the straight. Even without brake pressure sensors, the longitudinal G told me my initial hit was too soft. Session by session, the data made my laps more repeatable, which makes improvements stick. But, you know, the biggest surprise wasn't the stopwatch. The biggest surprise wasn't the lap times. It was how the data changed my entire approach to practice. Instead of just driving more laps, hoping to get faster, I could see exactly which corners needed work. The Racerender export feature lets me analyze everything after the session. I spent an hour at home reviewing data and found 2 more improvements I hadn't noticed on track. This setup also works for drag racing. You can see your 60-foot times, shift points, everything. Even on spirited road drives, it's fascinating to see your actual driving data. Let's be honest about what this is and isn't. It works with both iPhone and Android. Battery drain is real. Bring a power bank or use your car's USB port. The data accuracy is impressive for the price, but it's not a 2,000 euro professional system. You won't get steering angle or brake pressure without additional sensors. But for throttle, G-forces, speed, and GPS tracking, it's 90% as good at 5% of the cost. This entire setup costs less than renting a professional data logger for 1 weekend. Real data without the real cost. That's what this setup gave me. I dropped 3.2 seconds per lap and finally understood exactly where I was losing time. I've put links to all three components in the description, along with my TrackAddict dashboard configuration file. You can import and use immediately. If you want to see more data analysis from my next track day, let me know in the comments. See you at the track.